We, Canadian people and participants in the March of the Living, have come together to celebrate Yom Hazmut, Israel's Independence Day. Last night and today, during Yom Hazikaron, we remembered those who exposed themselves to mortal danger in the days of struggle prior to the establishment of the State of Israel, and the soldiers of Tzahal, the Israeli Defense Force, who fell in the wars of Israel beginning in 1948, 75 years ago.
This morning, a siren reverberated throughout the entire country. Traffic came to a halt. All public life stopped as everyone stood for 2 minutes of silence. Tonight, we begin the celebrations of Yom Ha'atzmaut with the knowledge that our Israeli brothers and sisters have paid a dear price for their independence, a price that we solemnly and respectfully observe today.
Here we stand in the Ein Yael Living Museum in the Raphaim Valley located in the modern city of Jerusalem. We are also standing on the grounds of an archaeological site that dates back to biblical times where King David battled the Philistines some 3,000 years ago. More recently, Jerusalem was a site of heroic battles during Israel's War of Independence in 1948, 75 years ago, and in 1969 during the Six-Day War when Jerusalem was finally reunited.
We will now recite a poem in honor of the memory of those brave and courageous soldiers who fell in 1948 and in 1967, and in honor of all the heroic soldiers who sacrificed their lives in defense of the State of Israel since the founding of the Jewish state.
They come from the mountains, from the valley, from the desert. They come, names, faces, eyes, and stand for the parade.
They come with a masculine step, strong and tan. They emerge from the shattered plains and from the burnt tanks. They rise from behind the rocks, from across the dunes, from connecting ditches.
Brave as lions, tough as tigers, swift as eagles, as they pass one by one between two rows of angels who feed them candy and place flowers around their necks. And I look at them and all of them are happy. These are my brothers, my brothers.
And they meet one another, black eyes and blue and brown, and they remind one another of names and weapons and places, and pour each other cups of coffee and tea, and they shout suddenly, calling, "How you doing, man?"
And they meet friends and comrades in the crowd. And the officers slap the privates' shoulders, and the privates shake the officers' hands. And they burst into song and clap their hands.
And the meeting lasts a day and a night, because there's never been a group like this in heaven. And then suddenly, they hear familiar voices crying. And they look homeward at fathers and mothers, at wives, children, brothers, and sisters.
And their faces are silent as they stand confused, and then someone quickly whispers, "Forgive us, we had to. We won the battles and now we are resting. These are my brothers, my brothers."
And so they stand, light on their faces, and only God alone passes among them, with eyes filled with tears, kissing their wounds, and God says in a trembling voice to the white angels, "These are my children, these are my children."
לאלה שאינם איתנו כאן היום, לאלה שהלכו מבלי לומר לנו שלום, לאלה שאף פעם לא יהיה להם מקום, לאלה שנתנו תרתי משמע את כל הלב, על אלה שאני ואת וכל אחד חושב, לאלה שכעת אינם חשים עוד בכאב, לאלה שאהבנו, אוהבים ועוד נאהב, לאלה שאינם איתנו כאן עכשיו, לאלה שהשאירו כמה סימנים של כתב, החקוקים על אבן שיש ומוכתמים בדם, לכל אלה, לאלה שאינם.
75 years ago today, surrounded by hostile nations from all sides, David Ben-Gurion, Israel's first prime minister, stood in Tel Aviv and read from the Scroll of Independence.
The land of Israel was the birthplace of the Jewish people. Here their spiritual, religious, and national identity was formed. Here they achieved independence and created a culture of national and universal significance. Here they wrote and gave the Bible to the world. Exiled from the land of Israel, the Jewish people remained faithful to it in all the countries of their dispersion, near ceasing to pray and hope for their return and the restoration of their national freedom.